What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I'm coming to you with another video. Not even gonna lie, guys, I'm pretty freaking pissed off. I have been angry in some of my rants, but I'm at a whole nother level right now, and they really crossed a line. They have already gone out and they have insulted us, and they've called us sexist and bigots, and they've completely ignored women, any type of minority, and they just like to focus on old white men, middle-aged white men, and calling them names, and they just completely ignore the rest of us who are not happy with the stupid, idiotic things that they are trying to do with Star Wars, and the fact that they don't understand Star Wars makes absolutely no sense to me, because it's not that hard to understand a hero's journey, and to understand the art of storytelling, and to understand that characters need to be three-dimensional and not one-dimensional to make it successful. So it blows my mind, the stupidity behind these people. And then they make something that nobody likes, that nobody wanted, and they get upset and they try to cover it up, the fact that they are now failing. Because, you know what, yeah, The Force Awakens did amazing because it was the first Star Wars movie out in however many years, and then The Last Jedi came out and it was all the hype, and so then when it kind of fell off and didn't make as much money as The Force Awakens, nobody said anything. No, you know, there was people like us on YouTube that were posting videos about how insulted we were as fans, that they would just completely disrespect the franchise and the characters, and obviously Rian Johnson knows absolutely nothing about Star Wars, and what he did was just absolutely disgusting, and the way he treated Luke Skywalker is absolutely unforgivable, and he is an absolutely pathetic excuse for a human being. And then you have Solo, which nobody wanted. Nobody asked for a Han Solo movie. Yes, if George Lucas would have been doing a Han Solo movie back in the day when Harrison Ford was still young, yeah, we would have been freaking thrilled. That would have been an awesome movie. But no, these idiots that are in charge that have no idea how to make a good movie are making them. So yeah, nobody was excited for that. And I've had mixed people tell me, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Or, you know what, hey, that was actually not the, worst movie. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. That right there is not Star Wars. Star Wars is not that bad. Star Wars is amazing. Star Wars is life-changing. When you watch Star Wars, it takes you to a galaxy far, far away, and it shapes the person you are going to become. That's what happened with me. When I watched Star Wars as a child, it changed who I was. It made me see that there's more to life than just wanting to be a princess, that you can use the Force, and there's a battle between good and evil, and it's up to you to choose whether or not you want to be a good person, and that good is always going to prevail over evil, no matter what the risks are, and you need to take those risks, because if you just sit back and let life fly by, nothing's ever going to change, and it's not going to help you grow as a human being. That is what Star Wars is. Star Wars changes things. Star Wars shows you those battles, and now they are insulting George Lucas, the man who created Star Wars. George Lucas had nothing when he came up with the idea of Star Wars. He was just a kid that grew up in Modesto, same town I'm from, and he grew up watching sci-fi movies, same as me, and he and I went to the same high school, and just when I went to that high school, just walking and going in his legacy and learning everything that he learned, and it's like, oh, this book that's in display was one that George would come in and read all the time. George Lucas was obsessed with history. Hello, he studied this book when he was writing Star Wars. Gosh, read a book if you're going to write a movie. And now you're trying to say, oh, so apparently George Lucas had this conversation with James Cameron however many years ago, which there's no proof behind. And then you're trying to quote him saying that, oh, his idea would have been absolutely horrible. Do you know that it would have been absolutely horrible? No! In theory, the prequels could have been amazing. As a kid, I enjoyed them because I was a kid when they came out and I liked them. Yeah, they weren't the best movies, but they were still Star Wars. They stayed true to the character. I've said this before. Star Wars is about, Darth Vader and the Skywalkers, and you see Anakin's journey in the prequels onto how he became Darth Vader. That is what the prequels are about. The prequels are about showing how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. And then you get the originals, and you see that, and it all comes into one. Now, these new movies, they're just going off and doing whatever the hell that they want and not understanding the story and the concept and the characters or the universe. And like I've said before, yes, Star Wars shouldn't be one of those movies that are just okay. Excuse me, when you watch, Revenge of the Sith, that movie is beyond okay. You get to see Obi-Wan and Anakin face off. You get to see Anakin completely turn to the dark side and just go crazy and kill everyone. You get to see that he's actually come full circle and he kills children. And then that bond that he had with his wife, that bond that he had with Obi-Wan, it's completely shattered and you see a person go from good to complete evil. That is pretty powerful. And now you're trying to insult George Lucas, the man who invented it. If it wasn't for George Lucas, you wouldn't even be here because you wouldn't have bought Star Wars. George Lucas changed the world when he created Star Wars. What have you done? Oh yeah, that's right. You've insulted us and pissed us off. So, I'm trying so hard not to cuss because I know that there are children that watch this channel, but I am beyond upset right now. You trying to make these false accusations and claims on something that you have absolutely no proof of. You can't say that this would have been horrible because it was never created. You want to go and say that, oh, having these microorganisms that feed on the Force and that is what connects the universe? Hello, look at science. Just look at it. George Lucas, he was interested in creating a story, and then when he got onto the prequels, he's older, he's got all this money, he can do whatever the heck he wants, and he decided he wanted to go more into the science of the Force and how it works. And maybe if this is true, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go even further into it. You want to talk about microorganisms? Look at us. We're made of what? However many billion amount of cells? Yeah, it's still real. And yeah, that's something that's more relatable to any of the characters that you freaking created. So don't go bash on George Lucas to distract from your own failure. Because that's what you're doing. You use Kelly Marie Tran and that harassment, which you have absolutely no proof of. Then you have John Boyega come and get into a fight with Jeremy online, which is absolutely pathetic, by the way. And now everyone's in seclusion because they're filming the new movie, which already we're not excited for. No matter what JJ does, it's not going to fix it. It's not. And none of us want to relate to your new characters because you've hurt us. You have stabbed us in the heart. Not just in the back, in the heart. And we are not going to forgive you for that. The only way that Star Wars can be salvaged now is for you to go away with your tail behind your legs, give Star Wars back to George Lucas, or to someone that actually understands the art of storytelling and Star Wars. So trying to distract from your failure by blaming it on other people and using other people to hide behind is absolutely pathetic, you pathetic cowards. Grow up. I'm done. You guys have insulted me. You've looked over other women. You've looked over minorities. And you just want to talk about fat, white, middle-aged men that live in their mother's basements. Well, you guys, what are you doing? You're hiding behind Lucasfilms. You're hiding behind your security. You're hiding behind your buildings. You guys won't even talk. You use your actors to go and lash out at us. And before this movie even premiered, what were you doing? You were bashing on freaking Mark Hamill. You can't say anything about Carrie because she's passed on, and it's absolutely horrible what's happened to her. But if she was still here, you would be bashing on her too, and that is not okay. And just knowing the fact that it's probably better that Carrie Fisher has passed on because at least you're not able to abuse her the way you were abusing Mark Hamill, and you're going to try to bash on George Lucas. There's a lot of people out there that are going to fight you, and I'm not going to sit back, and I've actually not been sitting back. I've been pretty vocal about it, but it doesn't matter anymore now. I will not stop until you guys are at your knees begging for someone to buy this franchise for you, because what you are doing is unforgivable and absolutely acceptable, and it's disgusting that people like you come to the position that you're in. You want to say that you're social justice warriors? What are you fighting for? You're fighting for, seclusion. You're fighting to divide things. You are fighting for hate. That is what you are doing, and it's wrong. We are fighting for Star Wars, not you. You are trying to destroy it, and that is wrong. And Star Wars taught people like me the difference between right and wrong. And it also taught us that even though we're a bunch of misfit band of rebels, we will overcome you. We've seen it happen. We watched what Luke did. We watched the Empire get overthrown and destroyed. And we are going to find your weakness. And we are going to expose it, and we are going to destroy you. And this is a battle that you didn't even think you were going to get in. You thought that everything was going to be fine and dandy and you were going to make all this money. Well, joke's on you. This is what happens when you take something that someone loved, that millions of people love, and intentionally destroy it and intentionally try to hurt people, because we are not going to stand down. This is Star Wars.